Good evening, visitors, and welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Sharon Bown, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Squadron Leader Pippa Patchett. We warmly welcome the members from the 45th Battalion Association who are attending this evening's ceremony. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria, and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors and by students on behalf of the following schools. From Queensland, we have Cathedral School of St Anne and St James, Primary Department, Mundingborough, and from Victoria, St Clair's Primary School, Officer. If you are able, will you please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. Students, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the troops at Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Everett William Hope Jury. Everett Jury was born on the 19th of February in 1893 in Goulburn, New South Wales, the son of Marshall and Elizabeth Jury. Little is known of Jury's early life. The family moved to Summerhill on the outskirts of Sydney, and prior to joining the Royal Australian Navy, Jury had been working as a butcher. Jury joined the Royal Australian Navy on the 14th of April 1914, signing on for an initial period of 5 years. He was sent to the Navy's training establishment, HMAS Cerberus, in Victoria, where he underwent training as a stoker. After his initial training, he was sent back to Sydney, where he was posted to HMAS Encounter on the 19th of July. However, as the ship was at sea with the rest of the Australian fleet off Queensland, he did not join the ship's company until the 30th of July, when HMAS ships Australia and Encounter returned to Sydney. War clouds by this stage were looming large over Europe, and when war was declared against Germany on the 5th of August, Encounter sailed north. A week later, Encounter intercepted and captured the German steamer Zambezi, the Australian Navy's first wartime prize. In September, Encounter was part of a large naval escort for the Australian Naval and Military Expeditionary Force, which was sent to capture German New Guinea. When the submarine HMAS AE-1 went missing, Encounter was involved in this search. Encounter returned to Sydney in November for refit and repair, and on the 9th of December, Jury was posted to HMAS Penguin for shore duty and a period of leave. He returned to Encounter on the 9th of January 1915. With the whereabouts of the German East Asiatic cruiser squadron still unknown, Encounter was sent back to patrol around Samoa and Fiji. On the 25th of April, the same day as the first AIF was landing at Gallipoli, Encounter captured the German schooner Elfriede. Once again, Encounter returned to Sydney for a refit, and on the 8th of May, Jury was promoted to stoker. But life aboard the ship seems to have lost its sheen for him, and on the 24th of June, he deserted from HMAS Encounter. He was one of several crewmen to abscond that month. Jury didn't travel too far, and on the 1st of July, he presented himself to the AIF recruiting depot at Liverpool, and he joined the Australian Imperial Force. As warrants had been issued for his arrest, Jury enlisted as William Henry Carroll. After his initial training, he was allotted to the 9th Reinforcements to the 4th Battalion, and on the 30th of September, Jury embarked from Sydney with other reinforcements aboard the transport ship Argyleshire, bound for Egypt. After arriving in Egypt in early January 1916, he was taken on strength of the 4th Battalion. Less than a week later, Jury had been hospitalised with venereal disease, and he was unable to return to the battalion until mid-March. With the expansion of the AIF from 2 to 5 divisions, Jury was transferred to the newly raised 45th Battalion at the end of March. He sailed with his unit from Egypt to France at the beginning of June. Soon after arriving in France, Jury was absent without leave. He was awarded 7 days field punishment number 2 and heavily fined for his day on the lam. In preparation for its first major action at the village of Pozières, the 45th Battalion moved to Albert at the start of August. On the 4th of August, the battalion moved up to the front line. They took over their new positions in the early hours of the next day, with German artillery making the going particularly tough. The German bombardment continued throughout the night and into the following morning. Just after 4 a.m, the Germans launched an attack. Although the attack was easily repulsed, the 45th Battalion suffered 2 officers and 30 men killed and another 70 others wounded. Amongst the dead was Everett Jury. His body was unable to be located, and today his name is commemorated on the Australian National Memorial at Villers-Bretonneux. He was 23 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour to my right, amongst 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. A photograph of his name listed on the memorial at Villers-Bretonneux is located on the display beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. we now remember Private Everett William Hope Jury, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we the left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial, and we wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.